Welcome back to Unfiltered Kitchen. We have not done an episode in a little bit.
And why is that?
You were traveling, I was traveling. We've been all over the place, working, missing each other, trying to make a little bit of money, trying to survive this world and this life.
I've got a whole nother survival plan.
Yeah, he has a whole nother plan. But before we get into your plan,
yes,
I put up a Q&A and I put up a speak pipe, and somebody messaged me and said, watch, you're going to put up this Q&A. We're going to send you questions, and then all you and your dad are going to talk about
is something else.
Is your travels. Is how you've been traveling. And I am here to prove you wrong.
Okay, we're going to be disciplined today.
We are. So we are going to jump right into the Q&A / the speak pipe. And then if there's time at the end, we'll talk about the travels. Okay, so I put up a Q&A on our Instagram page, right?
Can we just have one little quick travel story?
Nope.
Just
nope.
Like 2 minutes.
No, discipline.
30 seconds.
Discipline.
15 seconds.
You can have it at the end.
10 seconds.
Okay, go.
Just a Q&A.
Go.
Who do you think had more fun? You in Paris or me with my toes in the sand and a cocktail in my hand? Who had more fun?
Well, my feet were on cement and I still had a drink in my hand. I had a great trip.
I'm sure you did.
I had an amazing trip.
Okay.
I had so good of a trip, I couldn't even come home and say how good of a trip I had. Like, I felt like everybody around me was going to be mad that I had that good of a trip.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mom and I were like, it was fun. And then we're secretly like, that was the best fucking shit ever. That was fun.
Oh, you had a good one then.
Oh, we had a good trip. Okay, you are ruining.
Okay, let's go. Q&A.
But we're going to talk about it because I do want to talk about Paris.
Okay. Paris to me is nothing but another big city.
And leave us alone.
Okay.
All right. So first I'm going to do the Q&A questions on our Instagram, and then we're going to do the speak pipe one.
I like a couple of the speak pipes. I heard some of them.
Okay.
So
we're going to do 2 from here because these I actually liked.
What do you guys think about us doing this live?
Yes, that was another thing we were going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Was doing it live, like actually going on Instagram Live or TikTok Live.
What are we doing right now? All you gotta do is hit your live button, right?
Yeah. Let's do this first, and then.
See, she's always scared of being live
because people just say mean things.
Well, we wouldn't even entertain what they're saying. We just be live. They're gonna listen to us. Bingo.
But no, you have like the thing with live is the way to get people to stay on your live is to interact with them,
or have something that is.
Right, but if you were just talking to me and I'm just talking to you and we're not interacting with the people that are commenting, then they're just going to click off because it's interesting, but you're not engaging. You know what I mean?
Okay, I don't necessarily think that that's true because I see sometimes I go on somebody's live and they may have 2,000 people on there. Mm-hmm. They're not interacting with all these folks. They're interacting with 1 or 2.
We'll try it today. We'll try it today.
Ooh, child.
We'll try it today. You get on my nerves. We'll try it today.
I'm gonna say some crazy shit.
Oh my God. The first Q&A question literally goes, I feel like y'all are going to start talking about Belize in Paris and answer like 1 question. So let's at least answer 3 questions so we can say, hey, we did it.
Right.
So the question is here. The question's here. I'm showing you guys the question as well. We're going to answer the question on Instagram and post it as we're recording.
Oh, really?
We're going to try that.
Fancy. Okay, then we better be for real. So,
okay, guys, so we're actually recording the podcast right now, but we are going to answer some of your Q&A questions right here.
Yes.
So the question is, advice for dealing with my stepmom who always tries to start a fight between me and my dad.
Okay.
My advice would be to talk to your dad about it first.
Problem with that is
what?
It may drive a wedge between the stepmother and
her dad.
You don't want that to happen. They're married. They're happy. The stepmother's probably a little bit insecure, maybe a little bit jealous of the relationship that you have with her man, because she's looking at that's man. Even though you're the child, some people don't see it clearly.
So what should she do? Who does she go to?
I think to the best of your ability, I don't know how old you are, but to the best of your ability, you just deal with your stepmother the best you can. Kill her with kindness, but you deal with your dad. You just deal with your dad.
That's what I'm saying. I think you deal with your dad.
Yeah, with her. I don't mean confront your dad. Like, so when I say deal with your dad, I don't mean go to him to try to resolve it, because that's going to make a problem. That's going to
Why do you think that's going to make a problem? If she's not going problematic, she's going to have a solution to say, hey, Dad, like, I feel like, we've been fighting a lot and I don't like us fighting. I want us to get along. I want all three of us to get along.
Why not say that directly to her?
Oh, shit, she can come too.
No, I'm saying the person say that directly to the stepmother.
Okay.
They've been fighting, and I don't think it was,
So you think she should confront the stepmom?
Not confront. See, using the word confront.
Confront doesn't have to be a negative thing, though.
I think it is in my brain, when you're saying confront.
Okay.
Have a conversation.
Have a conversation.
Yes. Have a conversation with either one of them.
How about with both?
That's fine, too.
Would you do that?
I don't have steps.
You do have steps. You did in the past.
They were all cool. They were cool in the game.
So...
They were always cool.
But you did have them.
I was fortunate.
So
let's do this. You're probably closer to whatever this person's age is. If you didn't get along with, let's say, Teresa,
okay,
she made you uncomfortable, how would you handle it?
I would go to you before I would go to her, honestly. But our relationship is good and I'm comfortable enough to where I feel like I could go to you and share my feelings, and hopefully you would try to respect my feelings and your wives and to be a mediator between the two.
Yeah, you're probably right. You probably need to go to your father first.
Yeah, I think going to the stepmom could cause more issues, because even if you go with the mindset of a positive conversation, she could walk away, go back to the dad and say, your daughter just confronted me.
Yeah. Here's one thing I want you to realize, though. He's always going to be your father. Okay? He may not always be her husband.
Damn.
So feel comfort in that. He's not going anywhere in your life. So, if she's a little shaky on the foundation of the relationship, like I said, she may be a little bit jealous of
the relationship that they have.
Yes. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. I think the step parent thing is hard, though, for both parties. I think as a step parent, you're, depending on the child's age and how the relationship started, you're trying to find your footing with the stepchild or with the other parent. Mm-hmm. So I feel like being a stepmom or stepdad, it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
And being a child.
Yeah, the problem with being a step is there's only one person, and that's the person that you're with, that is really on your side. Everybody else is looking at you side-eyed until you, for lack of better words, prove the person that you are.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The kids are looking at you side-eyed. The ex is looking at you side-eyed. Probably the friends are looking at you side-eyed.
I actually agree with that. Because even when we got David as a stepdad.
Oh yeah, you guys took him through the ringers.
Oh, I'm not even gonna lie. Every now and then I just look at him and I still say, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I used to tell them all the time, so you guys need to take it easy.
We took him through a lot. Yeah. And he's a good guy.
I could see that. I could see that initially where they couldn't see it.
No.
Yeah.
But I'd say our eyes were shut. So even if it was right in front of us, our eyes were closed. Like there was, it just wasn't, we just didn't want to see it. I think that's the hard part of it. I think Dave got put through a lot. And I'd say, like, if Dave got put through a lot on a scale from 1 to 10, he was at a 10. And then when you got remarried to Teresa, she was at she got like a 4.
Yeah, you didn't push her too hard.
No, and it wasn't even. It was like by that point we were all tired. We were like, all right, come on. I think she might have got like one side eye, one remark, and then it was like, all right, she's here to stay.
It was.
I'm speaking from me. I'm saying for me,
you guys were cool.
It was like I couldn't put up a fight by that point. I was like, all right, you getting married? All right, I'm coming over. Let's get married. Let's do it. Where poor David, I was like too much. It was just like an ongoing war.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one we're going to answer says, how to deal with insecurities when trying to be better and family does not respect that.
How to deal with insecurities and trying to be better when family does not respect that.
Yeah.
It's kind of an incomplete thought. But let's just deal with the insecurities. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've had insecurities. I mean, couldn't read, couldn't spell, could have called me dumb, and I'd have been like, yeah, okay. And it may not, you don't see it now, okay? But what happened is at some point, I just accepted who I am and went with it and was proud of it. And those that I felt short on, I said, let me try to be better. Like once I realized I couldn't read and then started reading and said, oh, I'm not a very good reader, I started practicing reading, try to get better at it. Okay. New technology, phones, and you speak there, everything spells right for you. I'm like,
now I'm fine.
yeah, beautiful. Nobody knows right now. I don't know how to spell because everything is self-corrected. But the thing is, it's I don't know how, and I've talked to people about this before. I don't know how to talk to you, to tell you to get a greater level of confidence in yourself. Most people are fine. Everybody has issues. Everybody has little troubles, a little something that they're not the best at. Okay? But just be positive with yourself. Don't let anybody beat you up. Don't let a circumstance beat you up.
Yeah. I think what I took from it is maybe in the past they did some things to where the family kind of maybe lost respect, and now you're trying to do better, and your family isn't in a place of accepting the new, like, elevated self.
Oh, okay. So
that's what I got from it.
Okay, look, when you're trying to do better, just do better.
Yeah, who cares what anyone else says?
Yeah, hunker down, forget your friends. I mean, when I was in a hole and I wasn't doing good and I wanted to get myself better, I cut some friends out that I just knew weren't going to help me. I hunkered down and I just worked my way slowly up. Okay?
Yeah.
Didn't care about what anybody thought.
That's what I took from it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, sometimes, and this is true. When I was running with a lot of the guys that I grew up with, who I loved, they were my people, but they were still doing things that I wanted to get away from because I realized the detriment in what we were doing. There were people I just had to cut out.
Yeah.
And I did it for years. I became a square, and just, but it worked. Look, nobody knows that you're improving other than you. And one day you wake up and you just say, I'm a better person today. That's kind of the way it happens because it's gradual. It's not like.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. So just work on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. There's a lot of things. There's so many things in this world that can cause us to get off track. Everything from the propaganda machine to, commercials you watch, TV. There's nothing in here that is really saying, hey, do better. There's not, role models are disappearing. We talked
about that before, like who to look up to now.
Yeah, the stuff they teach you in school is worth. Okay, so we know who chopped down the cherry tree. Okay,
Hold on,
it doesn't help anybody. So I was just saying, in this world, that's part of why I'm getting out of here. Okay, especially in the United States, and I'm probably sure most industrial countries. They're not teaching you things to really make your life better, easier. Even the way religion is structured, to really, this is just my opinion, to really better understand religion and the value of it, you've got to be able to study different religions.
I never thought of that.
Well, you can't just take one and say, okay, this is the answer. And, they all teach you this. Well, don't look at anybody else. Don't, if you look at somebody else, you're being wicked. You're being led astray. You're being fooled, hoodwinked. Okay, well. Yeah.
Hoodwinked. I haven't heard that in forever.
Hoodwinks?
Yes.
Yeah. If you can tell, well, I know you might know the answer. Where that whole led astray, bamboozled, hoodwink.
Yes, I know what hoodwinked is.
You know where it comes from?
No.
It comes from a speech that Malcolm X did.
Oh, I didn't know all that.
Years ago, yeah. You're being hoodwinked, led astray.
Okay.
Bamboozled.
I got one that I like. So this is a 2-part question. So I'm just going to read it to you so you understand both parts.
Okay.
But we're only going to put one part up on the Instagram page.
Okay.
So it says, need advice on how to deal with a grandparent who doesn't respect boundaries and rules. And then another message, they said, for example, giving the kids snacks and soda that they're not allowed to have and telling them to lie. I think there's one thing to not respect boundaries is a whole other thing of telling them to lie.
Okay.
What? Don't make it a problem unless it's not about.
I'm that grandparent.
Dad, but you don't tell my kids to lie.
No, I don't.
Right.
Well, maybe I have.
Oh my God.
I might have told him, don't tell her.
But that's...
I might do something like that.
That's not malicious. I don't know.
Here's the deal.
Hold on. Do we want to answer it on here or do you just want to answer it on there?
It doesn't even matter.
Okay, just answer it there.
Okay. Grandparents, unless they are like always there, I mean, part of your daily, weekly support system, helping you with the kids, take them to school, they get them so rarely. Give your grandparents a break. They raised your little dirty ass and they did okay. I mean, so what if they gave them candy and you don't want them to have candy? Explain to the parents again why you don't want them to have candy, and so that they understand. You know what I mean? I mean, don't be so crucial. Don't be so wound. You're wound a little too tight.
I think I should have let them see what you had to say about them right now.
Sorry. I mean, because
I don't agree.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Advice on how to deal with a grandparent who doesn't respect boundaries or rules. And another side, they also said that the grandparent gives them soda and snacks and then will tell the kid to lie about it. Me and my dad do not agree on our answer so far. He says, give the grandparents grace. Let us do what we want to do. Who cares?
I mean, to an extent, and I understand, I don't give these kids sodas. I think as a family, we've learned the detriment of sodas. Everybody hasn't learned it. So if your grandparent or if your parent is not being respectful of your ways, maybe better explain to them why you are feeling the way you are. If it's, let's say it's sodas and snacks, you don't want them to have the sugar, the fructose, the carbonation, whatever.
The dye.
Okay. Go back and read. Don't just say, hey, Dad, don't give him soda. Give it a little more of an explanation so he understands.
Now that we're recording, you want to change your answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, and I think if I was a parent, particularly if I was a parent that really knew the detriment of these different food products and things like that, and wanted my kids to be in a healthy environment.
Yeah.
And I'm doing healthy, 24/7, but every once in a while I go to the weekend and all the health is thrown out the window and, snack pack or...
What do you think about the grandparents telling the kids to lie?
Well, that's out of bounds.
I think that's way out of bounds.
Yeah, that's out of bounds.
It's one thing shh, don't tell your mom I gave you little candy. I think that's one thing. I mean, I do that with my own kids. Don't tell Zach I gave you a chocolate.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, I don't know. I feel like if it's a lie coming from like a malicious place. See,
I'm also giving the person credit, whoever wrote this, for kind of reaching, overdoing it.
You think their boundaries are too many boundaries?
Well, I just know that it's so cliche. They're not respecting my boundaries.
Oh my God, Dad.
No, I mean, I understand. I got it, but it's so cliche now. You know what? These are your parents. Let them. So what if they want to screw up? Well, no, I'm going to take that one back.
No, we're ending it there. He said, so what if they want to screw up?
I would just say this. Explain to your parents why you have these particular rules in place.
Okay.
And I think once you lay it down, look, this is for the betterment of your grandchild. I think once you explain to them, because if you just came to me and said, hey, Dad, don't give the kids any chips.
You're still going to give them chips?
As soon as you walk out the door. But if you came and said, look, this is what's in why. Chips, and this is what it does to their system and the salt, the refinement, then I'd say, you know what, she's right.
Okay, that answer is much better. You gave about 3 different answers, but let's stick to that one.
Okay.
All right, let's do speak pipe. Okay. Right. I haven't listened to this one, so we don't know what it's about to say.
I'm just wondering how you balance with having a relationship with your ex-wife's husband. So mitigating the boundaries there, and also with older children, how you comfortable with them referring to your ex-wife and her husband as their parents. Because I think that's something that would bother me, to be fair. And I do notice that they do tend to refer to them as their parents as opposed to my mum and her husband. So how does that work for you? And also with having grandchildren as well. how does that work if your grandkids assume that, I don't know if assume is the right word, but say that Dave is their grandfather as opposed to you, and how are you going to explain to them the situation, the dynamic going on? That's what most is I'm confused about.
I understood what she was trying to say. Did you understand?
I think so. I mean, in a nutshell.
I think in a nutshell, she's asking, how do you deal with having an ex-wife and a husband that is involved in not only your kids' lives, but now your
grandparents' lives,
and how do you,
and grandkid lives,
right? And how do you deal with? I think what she was trying to say was, like, for example, Ryder calls everybody Papa.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what she does. So I think it's like, how do you deal with her calling David, a grandpa name as well? And how are you going to explain who everybody is eventually, even though Ryder already knows who everybody is and who they belong to?
Somebody asked me once why she calls everybody Papa.
Uh-huh.
What's your we're coming back to the question.
Okay.
How do you think that came up? I have an idea in my head how it came up. But.
So I call my grandpa Papa, and Ryder, I've always just referred to both my dad to, when I'm speaking to Ryder and I'm speaking about my dad, Kyle Floyd, my dad, I would refer to him as Papa. And I want to say probably it just happened the same thing with David, to where we referred to Ryder to Dave as Papa as well, not asking Dave what he wanted his grandpa name per se to be, where I know he didn't want the kids to refer to him as his first name. So I think naturally it just became like Papa Dave.
Okay.
Because the kids go based off of what we tell them to say. So like for Terry, for Zach's dad, Zach wanted his dad to be called Pop, because that's what he called his grandpa. Pop.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to get Ace to say to Terry.
Pop.
But
Okay.
Ace is so used to hearing Papa, because we've just referred to both you and Dave that way, that it's almost like breaking him out of that. And then like for Carrie, who is Terry's wife, so the grandma, she likes the kids to call her Nanny.
Okay.
So it's easier for Ace to get Nanny, but every now and then he will say Nana because of Nana.
Okay.
So I think, the kids just go based off of what we refer to everybody as.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you think it was?
No, I was pretty close to that. I know when Ryder, being the oldest of the grandkids, I remember there was a time you guys kept on asking me, well, what do you want her to call you?
We did.
And I never decided. I never came up with anything.
Yeah, you didn't. So you just got stuck with Papa.
Yeah.
It's just,
which is all cool, but I'm going to tell you, it's a trip when all the kids are around. We're talking about the grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, Ace, that's Ryder, that's Boz, and that's Zaire.
It gets confusing.
Who's not doing it yet. And all the family's around.
Yeah.
And then I hear Papa, I'm turning.
Everybody turns.
And then I'm like, oh, you're not talking to me.
Everybody turns.
You're talking to Dave.
Yeah.
You're talking to Terry or something.
And then even like your dad. So even though I call Papa, I told Ryder, you call him Pops.
Yeah.
So then when we call Papa, she always goes, hi, Pops. Right. And then Ace gets excited and he's like, Pops.
Right.
But I know Ace doesn't even realize what he's doing. Right. You know what I mean? So I just think naturally the kids go with whatever you tell them to call you. So the question is, how does it make you feel having everybody when we do celebrations and stuff, everybody's in one house?
Well, this is how I think the reason we can do it in one house is because everyone is making an effort to go off smoothly.
Yes.
Okay. And it gets easier and easier. And then eventually it just becomes natural and it becomes part of the family dynamics. Okay. So when you're in that environment, meaning you got step parents, you got exes, you got divorcees, everybody's intermingled. I think if everybody, puts their grown-up pants on and is considerate of everyone else, make sure that you're careful about the things that you say. And mistakes will be made when you say things. I mean, I still make mistakes, but I think if everybody tries, then eventually, and everybody realizes that the adults in the room realize that the other adults are trying. Even if there's somebody in there who's trying to have a pissing contest, or somebody's being a little bitchy. Mm-hmm. You still keep your big girl pants on and let it ride, let it go through. Eventually, all the pissing contests and all the bitchiness will just flow right out the room because the positive will overtake it.
I agree.
And this becomes easier. But it's an effort. You make the effort.
It's definitely an effort. And I can see it sometimes more than I can see it other times, because sometimes it's just so normal now. It's just a norm to have everybody. It's like you don't even, nobody's tripping off who's coming because this is a norm. But it is cool sometimes when I do see the effort that is put in subconsciously, where I know that person did that to put effort in to make the other person feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I always, it's like you take notes. Like, the only reason I'm thinking about that is because we just celebrated Ryder's birthday at our house and everybody was here. And at one point everyone knows I like to take Polaroid pictures. So at one point we were taking pictures, and it was my mom, Auntie Rhonda, all the girls and the kids taking a picture. And Teresa was sitting while we were taking the pictures, but we're right by her, Mm-hmm. And then my mom said, T, what are you doing? Come get in the picture. Yeah. And invited her into the photo. Right. To me, I'm like, that's effort. That's effort. What I mean? Right. That's effort to where someone else kind of saw it and was like, goes over their head. But for me as her daughter, I see that was her making effort to make Teresa feel comfortable and invited and inclusive to her, to where, it was cool. It's, as a kid that's in the situation, it makes my heart smile. It's like, oh, okay, you're putting in effort the same way I've seen Dad and Dave put in effort. Look at you, Margaret, big girl pants on today. It's like that to me, that's how I see it for myself. And then that shows me how I would want to, if it was Taylor, a lot of people say, oh, you learn because of your parents. And you're right. I do. Yeah.
So for the young lady that was asking, I think if you and your sister-in-laws or your exes and you guys all get together, either you can start the ball rolling, or maybe you guys sit down and just have a quick conversation. Yeah. Hey, look, we're kind of still stuck to the hip. We have interlocking family, and I know historically or traditionally, you could just say, look, I know we're not supposed to get along, but I think it'd be beautiful if we do. Yeah, I agree. And you just put it out there, and then you start showing. And maybe even when you have that conversation, you just say, and you really have a gift for everybody. Yeah. A token gift, I
think that's the part. Society has taught us that we're supposed to be angry or hate the other person or hate the family or be mad. And it's when you do get along and when you publicly get along, then it's like, you're almost like chastised for it. It's like, oh, you must still love them. It's like, no, how about we just get along for the betterment of the kids or just life? Like, why do I want to fight? Yeah. For what? Yeah. So I think that that's a societal problem, that we're taught to be mad still.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
I want to see you guys cook some soul food, like fried chicken.
Let's go. Wait, let's hear what she said. What do you want?
Mac and cheese.
Hold on.
I'm gonna blow her up.
I want to see you guys cook some soul food, like fried chicken, collard green.
Yeah. That's it. Right up my alley. Let's go.
Baked mac and cheese.
Oh, I'm killing it.
Good old Southern cuisine.
Okay.
We need to do it.
Yeah, we will cook some soul food just for you. She said, I want to see y'all cook some soul food.
Yeah, well, you know what? I understand what she's saying, because, you get on there and start making pho, and now you're doing some little dumplings.
My dad is so mad that I'm making dumplings today.
And what's the other one you did? The Geechee Dan? I mean, the Michi? The Geechee? Kimchi, yeah.
Not the Geechee Dan. What the hell, Dad? Geechee Dan?
Oh, look, if anybody can tell me who Geechee Dan is.
What are you going to do?
Oh, man.
Well, they could just Google it now.
Can they really? I don't know. I don't even know if you Google it, it would pop up.
Okay.
Geechee Dan. Anybody, I'll do something special. You will get... we'd have to get together, because if you know who Geechee Dan is just right off the jump, then you probably my age.
You're meant to be friends.
Yes, yeah. We actually have a friend. I talked to him the other day. We call him Geechee Dan. All right.
Hi, guys.
Ooh, upbeat.
This is Jade. So I have a good question. I would like to know what you do, Kyle and Cheyenne. Chloe, back up. Back up, Chloe. How do you guys have such a close relationship? Because you want to have a parent, but you also want to have a friend when you get older. So how do you navigate on figuring out, okay, at this age I need to be their parent. Now at this age it's transitioning to being their friend, or were you always both? My mom's favorite line growing up was, I am one of your little fucking friends.
I'm not one of your little
fucking
friends.
And now as we're older, I feel like it's hard to be her friend because my whole life I heard she is not one of my little friends. So how do you guys have such a good relationship now, like that adult type of friendship? You're obviously still her father, but you guys have a really good friendship. I want to know how you navigated that. So that way I can also give advice to Sean on how to be a good parent now, but also how can we both still be good friends?
I didn't realize this is Jade. Hey, Jade, how you doing, girl?
I'm so mad it took you that long to recognize her
first
voice.
I'm listening to the voice. That's how I know her. And then when she said Sean, I said, oh. And then she said Chloe. I was like, okay. Sometimes I'm slow. I always tease Chey about taking the short bus,
but you were right there with me.
So it took a minute to jump in.
I really like her question though, because a lot of people ask me, how are we so close?
Okay. All right, go ahead.
No, you answer. I want to know what your answer is.
So when we were a younger family, meaning you're Chloe's age.
Okay.
So our family is still intact. It was me, Maria, Kyle, Cheyenne. Generally, I was the disciplinarian. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Okay. And I had no problem being disciplinarian because I knew that she had Mother Sunshine in the other room that was going to just be like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so, everything, So I knew that the balance was there.
Okay, I agree.
Now, I never disciplined to the point of, I'm not going to do something to make them hate me or, just because it's generally they're kids and I realize that. So there's nothing that's going to be that big of a deal.
Okay.
It's a teaching moment. So you teach them. Okay. You don't teach them. There's a line between teaching them and corrupting them to the point where they just despise you. Mm. Okay. There was a time, I'm not going to go into that. So now that she's older, okay, I still try to parent, but if she don't want to listen, then you do you. Mm-hmm. You can learn you can learn through my experience, or you can have your opinion and learn your lesson your own way. And I'm fine with that because she's not going to go out there. Now, it may cost her some money, or it may cost her some pain, or it may cost her some anguish to learn it her way, but I got to let her do that.
Yeah.
It's like there's times I'm trying to give her advice and she's trying to argue me down. And she's trying to say, no, Dad. and it gets to the point where I just say, okay, fine. Because, she is grown now. So I let her do you. And
so would you say that we have a friendship?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
So what is the line between parenting and friendship?
Well, here at this age, I don't have to parent as much.
Okay.
Okay. Because I think I gave you a good foundation and you still have a lot of support from me, your family, everybody around you, but you are grown now. You are a parent yourself now. So you're either going to listen and learn from years of wisdom, and I do my best. I still learn from my dad. Or you're going to say, no, I'm going to figure this out my own way. Okay. And most of the times your own way, honestly, is the wrong way. I mean, if it has something to do with me trying to share with you or you bucking me, but I just say, you know what, go about your business and you're going to do it wrong. But eventually I hope in life that you get to the point where I am, where I understand that it's the wrong way. But I'm not going to, I don't make a big deal of it because it's just learning.
Do you think the way that you parented when we were younger allowed us to have the friendship that we do now?
I think so, probably so, or else we wouldn't be friends now. We'd be one of these callers that say I never had that relationship with my dad or with me,
Yeah. I'm honestly, like, a lot of people always ask me, like, how are you so close with your dad, or how are you so open, or how do you talk to your dad about all these different things and you guys are so, comfortable and you're laughing, and I don't know. Like, I don't know what that answer is.
Well, I think a lot of it probably has to do more so with it, and I'm not trying to take all the 100%, but I think it has to do with my personality.
I think that's what it is. Because our personalities are very similar. Mm-hmm. And I would say Kyle is more similar to my mom. And when you guys got divorced, I spent more time at my dad's. Mm-hmm. That like my senior year, it's kind of like Kyle went with mom and I went with dad. And I feel like going through that with that parent, we just had each other. So naturally I became really close with my dad. Not to downplay the relationship with my mom. Everyone knows I'm still super close with my mom. Right. But there was a time period where I was closer with my dad than I was with my mom. I was mad at her, honestly. So I feel like I just kind of focused more on like my dad, and then we got a closer relationship because we were just there with each other. Yeah. And then I think when you go through something like that, you kind of become friends. Like, not in a way of like, oh, he stopped parenting, but friends in a way of like, we would sit there and watch shows together and like get excited about what show it was, or we would watch like MMA and
our personalities, the way we think and where we figure things out, and our type of humor.
It's like, it's kind of dry. It's kind of like probably not funny, but like we're laughing at it and someone else is probably offended. Like it just works for us to where like I would say Kyle is more sensitive. I'm not as sensitive as she is. So like, let's say my dad says something that could be taken like stern or something, I can kind of dish it right back to him. And then we're like, all right, what are we eating for dinner? Where like Kyle would kind of get more upset in her feelings and then would be mad at him for it, where I'm like, who cares? Like, he said it, okay, now say something back and then move on. Yeah. But I had to realize, even growing up, even now today, I still have to realize like my personality is like his and different than like my sister's. So when she gets mad at things that are said or just a little bit more sensitive, I have to always step back and give her grace because we just have different personalities. Yeah. So I think I guess it is personality.
I got so excited that I realized it was Jade. I'm not even sure what the question was.
She was asking how we have a close relationship and that line between parenting and having a friendship with your child. Because she was saying that now, as her mom is older, her mom always told her, I'm not your friend. But now she's older and her mom wants to be her friend. And it's like, you already told me we're not friends.
Okay. So with that, at this point, Jade, again, you and Sean are grown. You're parents yourself. You can still glean from your mom if there's something that you can pull from her. Mm-hmm. But if not, just you should be friends at this point.
Yeah.
You should still be able to listen to her. But your whole life, and I kind of know your story a little bit, from the outside in. But you've kind of done a good job of raising yourself. Not to say your mother and father was absent, but there was challenges. So at this point, and a media mom who I think is all the personality in the world, who I think wants to be there, and I don't know if there's still challenges or not, but just go with it. Don't worry about all the guidelines the way it's supposed to work. Make things work the way your family works.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, this.
At this point, be friends.
Here, at this point, you don't depend on her. You don't need her. You'd like her to be there, but same thing. She doesn't depend on me. Sometimes she calls me, I come through. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I say I'm coming to get the babies, and then last minute I say I'm not showing.
Oh my God, yes. Okay.
I mean, it happens. So just go with the flow. Again, don't. Here's part of the secret in enjoying life is just don't be wound too tight. Mm. Be loose about things. Be fluid. Things change. People change. Circumstances change. Go with the best that you can go with.
Okay. That was a bar. All right. Let's see what this one says.
How to leave a physical, mental, verbal, emotional, abusive relationship with the father of my 1-year-old daughter. How will that affect her? And how will that affect us? I love him, but do I? And why?
That last part is kind of deep.
Yeah, it is.
I love him,
but
but do I? And why? Let's go to that first.
That kind of gave me the chills.
So, you want to take a shot?
I'm not ready to take a shot at the last part. I would be more so, the only part that I feel like I can take a shot at is how would it affect the 1-year-old? And my only feedback to that is, as a mother, you have to do uncomfortable things to keep your child safe and to do the best for your child. And when I say uncomfortable, it could be uncomfortable to leave the dad. Let's say he's the provider. Let's say he's the person who got the apartment and has the car. And that's, reasons why I would stay as a mom, because this is more comfortable. But in the long run, am I doing more harm to my child that she's in such a negative environment where she's seeing her father mentally, physically abuse me, and I'm staying because of the comfortabilities that he does bring? So to me, as a mom, you have to get out of that situation, make tough decisions, and I would look to my child for the strength when I don't have it, because I don't want her to grow up in an environment or a household where she thinks this is normal or okay or safe, because it's unsafe. And as moms, we have to do everything we can to protect our babies and ourselves. So that would be my reason to bounce. If it's not already myself, I'm bouncing to protect my child now. That's the only stab I can do.
Okay. All right. So when I first heard her, she said, how do I manage the situation? Verbal, mental. Did you say physical also?
I don't.
Physical abuse?
I want to say yes, but I don't want to say yes.
Okay. It doesn't really matter.
But I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So the first thing I was thinking is, how do you pack your bag and leave?
It's not that easy.
I know. So in order to do that, you got to take steps. You got to get ready. Okay. You got to figure out financially, how you can manage just you and your daughter. Or it's a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Your daughter. Maybe
so.
Maybe that's going back to family. A sister, a sibling. Maybe it's taking a smaller step down. Maybe you live in a big 4-bedroom house. Maybe you're going to have to get an apartment, whatever the case. But I want to back up to the end of what she said.
Okay.
I do love him.
But do I?
But do I? And why? Let's start with I do love him.
Okay.
Well, you didn't just love him just boom out of thin air. He obviously has got some qualities that you enjoy, that attracted you, that got you in the ball game of loving him. Okay. So I want you to be a little bit thoughtful and maybe be careful, but I don't think don't take it. I'm diluting what you're saying about the verbal abuse. But I want you to think about it. If he's calling you a stupid ass bitch, every 5 minutes, or, an overweight heifer and just demeaning your whole self-consciousness, then yes, that's verbal abuse. But if you guys are just going through some arguments and you're taking a shot and he's taking a shot and now you're crying foul, I don't know that that's verbal abuse. Mental abuse, just because you're not getting your way. And I'm not saying anything, but I just want you to think about it. Because if you're saying you love him, there's got to be some quality that he has brought to the table that's got you in this feeling of love. Okay? But now we go to the why. I don't want you to be loving a man just because he's a man. Just because he's there. Don't think that you can do this by yourself. Okay? Now, I don't know how the why, did you grow up in a situation where this is the norm? This verbal, mental, physical abuse. So it's your radar, your alarm system is not going off as loud as it should be. Maybe that's the why. I don't know.
That makes sense.
But you as a young lady are going to have to really do some investigation within yourself and the relationship. Don't be so quick to call foul just because there's an argument or something, or you're going through some ripples in the relationship. Okay? But if there is a backwards reason that you're loving this man, thinking that you don't want to be alone or can't do it by yourself, then that is, again, like I said, that's backwards. You can do it by yourself through the friends, family, or organization support. Let me tell you something. If there's nobody around, you wouldn't be the first, and you're not going to be the last woman that raised a child by themselves. Okay?
Do you think it's easier said than done?
Oh, everything is easier said than done.
Yeah.
Okay. To actually get out there and do it, to get out there and be an independent woman, a woman that is raising a child or children by themselves, that's hats off. That's tougher than most people know, unless you've gone through it. But it can be done because I've seen it done. People do it all the time. There's worse situations than what you're in, believe me, and people manage them. But you have to be tough. You have to be courageous more so than tough. Okay. And figure things out. All right.
Yeah.
I wish you the best. I want you to be in the best situation. And don't take me saying, think about these allegations like I'm dismissing them. I'm not. But I know a lot of times people will call foul because that's the environment we're in nowadays, when it's just life. It's just things you're going through stuff. Okay. Now, if there's real abuse, it's time to get out, make a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to your family. Look, I know you've heard us say this 101 times. Go try to do some type of mediation, counseling, see if that works. Give it a shot. Okay. What I would, again, I'm going to that back part again. I do love him, but do I?
And
Which
why?
And why? Because if he hasn't look, make a list. Why do you love him? Okay. And if that list falls short, if that list is something that you can handle by yourself, because he pays rent, he's put a roof over our head.
He's a provider.
Yeah. You can all do all that stuff so you by yourself. Yeah. And then your other, on the other side of the list is reasons where you feel abused verbally, physically, And if you have on there, he punched me more than once, game's over. Game's over. I mean, once might be enough, and if you got on there, well, he's unfaithful to me, or he's always demeaning. The first thing is that you tell him, look, you are driving me out of your life. You're pushing me away. All this name calling, all this physical, all these accusations, all this is too much. I can't handle that. I can't love you back when this is how you're treating me. So you continue to treat me like this, I'm out. Now, that may already be foregone conclusion, because when you think about it, you may already know the answers and may not have to ask him or have a conversation about it. You may know that this is the way he is. If that's the case, pack it up. I'm right back to where I started. Pack it up.
Do you think that a person can hit you and then never hit you again?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Anyway.
But I think if it's a repeated behavior, no.
Then it is what it is.
It is what it is. But can I imagine somebody making a mistake and
never doing it again,
truly regretting it and never regret? Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah. I could give somebody that benefit of a doubt. Okay.
I think it's a tough benefit to give.
Sure it is. But it's just like.
But that's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Tough situation. Wish you the best.
All right, we're going to do one more because we're at our hour mark.
Keep us posted.
I know. Sometimes we do these and then I always want to check back in, but then a lot of these are anonymous. So it's hard to.
Well, here, I'm going to tell you one of the things that we talked about, because we talked about situations similar to this before. If you feel like it's a point where you need to exit, there are organizations, women organizations out there in your area that can help you. Okay? And I'm not talking about give you some good words like I'm talking about.
No, but they'll house you.
Yes, exactly.
I know. Dang, I wish I knew what it was called, but it's almost like they'll set you up to where like they'll come and pick you up on the corner. Like they'll come in, they'll have a plan for your exit.
Yeah. Like here in Los Angeles, they have what's called Union Rescue Mission, which a lot of people think it is just for the homeless. Okay, or the drug addicted or mentally, incapable. But they also have a family unit, and it's for families that just in between checks, something happened. Or they have a women's unit that are for women and their kids, where maybe the person that their mate was abusive, or maybe whatever for whatever reason, they've fallen on hard times and they need help. They are here to help you. So they have organizations like that. I'm not going to say in every state because I don't know, but I'm assuming.
I think every place has something.
Yes. Okay, so you have ways out.
Okay.
You have ways to fix it, ways to try to fix it, and you have ways out if nothing gets fixed.
I would like to know what your advice would be for somebody who is struggling to find their place in life as a 30-year-old. No career. I'm sober. I've lost a lot of friends, family. I'm just trying to navigate life.
Okay. 30 years old. She kind of threw me a little bit when she said, I'm sober. I've lost friends. Maybe that's from being sober and they're drinkers. But then she said, I lost family. Is that like the loss of family?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go with what
assume.
I'm going to go with what I know.
Okay.
She's 30 years old. You're 30 years old. Mm-hmm. You have time. Okay. You don't need all the things that you think you may need. You don't need a big gallery of friends. Okay? You don't need a big gallery of family. Yeah, it's nice if you have it, but if you don't, handle your own business. Now, in terms of how to navigate life, it is tough here in the United States. It's because you're flooded with so many messages of what you should be.
What life should look like.
Yes.
And what happiness looks like.
Yes.
And the lifestyle that comes with it, and the benefits, and the glamour.
All that stuff is propaganda to make you buy an unaffordable car or to make you buy clothes that aren't going to make you a better person. Yes, you have a little fancy Insignia on it, okay? But it doesn't make you any different, So what? It keeps you, it makes you look like you're keeping up with the Joneses. Who cares about the Joneses? You know what happened in the Jones family last week? The man killed the woman and ate the kids. I'm just throwing out there. The Joneses are crazy. Who's trying to keep up with the Joneses?
What about career-wise? What would your advice be
career-wise, this is what you have to do. You have to decide what kind of person you are. Are you the kind of person that wants to work in passion? Find something that you really enjoy doing. Okay? Are you the type of person that works for the money? Me, I was the kind that works for the money. Like I tell you all the time, you heard me say, like, I clean toilets if they paid more than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to me. Okay. If you're the type of person that works in passion and not worried about the money, and believe me, money's the last thing you worry about, then just go find something that you enjoy doing. Now, if you don't have anything right now, go to school. Go to a local JC that doesn't cost you much. Take whatever classes you want. Whatever seems interesting, whether it's language, whether it's art, whether it's business, whether it's, American history, do something. The thing is, you're putting yourself in a different circle of friends going to college that might spark you some kind of way. Because you need a spark. You need something to get you going, something to create some passion, some drive for yourself at 30. Now, again, at 30, don't be in too much despair. You're okay. I take it that she probably still lives at home. Did you gather that? I'm assuming. Yeah, she didn't give anything to gather, but I'm assuming. Because if you don't have anything that's going on, you're probably
got to live somewhere.
Yeah. So I would find something. This is what you don't want to do. Don't spend the next week, month, half a year doing the same thing that you're doing now. Mm-hmm. Meaning whatever you're doing, then you're coming home at the end of the day and you're watching TLC for 3 hours or whatever it is you're spending time on. Just do something different. I don't care if it's going out there and walking for an hour as opposed to watching TV for an hour. That walk, maybe you're listening to a podcast. Not like ours, but maybe one that is motivating, giving you, ideas, business ideas or career ideas. Start looking through the newspaper. But again,
you're saying to change your norm.
Change your norm. If you're not good, if you're not happy with your situation, change it. Don't sit up there and do the same thing every day and think that something's going to change. There's no magic pixie dust going to be sprinkled on you, and then boof, there's a whole nother world. You get to that whole nother world by purpose.
Yeah, because if you keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
So at some point, you have to do something different to get different results.
Yeah. And believe me, I knew people that were in a lot worse situation. I mean, at 30, they were a wreck. It's a total wreck. And now they're doing fine. Okay. But it's because they changed their ways. Okay.
Yeah, I really like the school advice. Even like going to take a class and just changing your environment and being around other people. I like that advice a lot.
You know, I'm going to tell you, even if you are working, okay, and everything is cool, but at the end of the day, let's say you go typical 9 to 5, then you come home and let's say you get home at 5 and then from 5 to 11 o'clock at night, what are you doing? You're eating dinner, maybe playing with your mate or your family, and then you're going to bed and starting all over again. That's a lot of hours. Mm-hmm. Go back to school. And again, you don't have to go to learn some new science, biology, something like that. Maybe it's taking a fun pottery class.
Yeah.
But maybe it is something that you think, maybe you're taking a social media class. You know, maybe you're taking sale, anything, just learning something. But again, it's putting you in another environment. And basically school is full of people that are trying to do a little bit better. You know, so it's a new circle of friends that you meet.
You're trying to do something.
Yeah. You know.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in this week.
Wait, we don't get to talk about travel?
We're over an hour. I'm so sorry. We are going to come back next week and we're going to talk about travel. We're going to talk about
If you're not going to Thailand with us, you're going to miss out.
Next week, we're going to do an episode. We'll talk about all the travels. We have more on Speak Pipes, so we'll do more Speak Pipes also.
I thought the Speak Pipes was really good this week.
They were, and people are still sending them. So maybe we'll do a part 2 to this episode. I got to go make my dumplings and pick up my kid from school. So I'm out of here. Peace and love. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and continue to share.
Please continue to share. We need to grow our audience or else we are going to flush ourselves down. Okay?
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.